Hey guys, as you're watching this video, our vision is to reach 500,000 subscribers. Hit the subscribe button, join membership to support our channel, join Patreon and PayPal. All the links are in the description. Do that to stand with us for this beautiful cause of One Africa right now. We do not forget to sign up for the petition. The link is down below. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Historical context. The Somali region of Ethiopia, one of the largest by area, has been a hotspot for ethnic clashes, primarily due to its complex ethnic composition and border disputes with neighboring regions. The region has a significant Somali population but also includes other ethnic groups. The federal structure of Ethiopia, which organizes states largely along ethnic lines, has exacerbated tensions, especially after the 2014 boundary redrawing that transferred 3 towns from Somali to Afar region. Recent clashes. Afar-Somali clashes. Since 2014, the border between Afar and Somali has been a flashpoint. In April 2021, a severe outbreak of violence occurred, resulting in at least 100 civilian deaths over several days. These clashes involved regional special forces and local militias, with both sides accusing each other of initiating the violence. The conflict is rooted in the control of resource-rich areas like the Awash River and important transport routes like the Addis Ababa-Djibouti Highway and Railway. Oromo-Somali conflicts. Prior to the Afar-Somali clashes, there were significant confrontations between the Oromo and Somali communities, especially in 2016-2018. These conflicts led to over 1.5 million people being displaced at their peak, with numerous deaths reported. The Liu Police, a specialized force from Somali region, has been accused of incursions into Oromia, leading to violent confrontations, allegations of ethnic violence, ethnic cleansing and forced displacement. There have been allegations of ethnic cleansing, particularly in areas where one ethnic group attempts to assert control over another. Reports mention forced evictions, attacks on civilians based on their ethnicity, and the destruction of property. The disputes often involve control over land, water resources and political power, human rights violations. Both government forces and militias have been accused of committing human rights abuses, including extrajudicial killings, rape and torture. Organizations like Human Rights Watch have called for investigations into these violations, with specific concerns about the lack of accountability for senior officials potentially involved in these abuses. Government and international response. Peacemaking efforts. The Ethiopian federal government has intervened multiple times to broker peace. Peace talks have led to agreements to withdraw forces from disputed territories, but these agreements often collapse, leading to renewed violence. In 2024, another ceasefire was reported, but the situation on the ground suggests ongoing tensions. International observation, bodies like the UN and various NGOs have expressed concerns about the humanitarian situation, the displacement of people, and the need for a sustainable peace process. There have been calls for humanitarian aid for those displaced by the violence. Current dynamics. Continued violence. Posts on social media platforms like X indicate that violence continues, with recent reports of fighting in rural areas of the Fafan zone in December 2024, leading to displacement of civilians. Political implications. The ongoing violence in the Somali region adds to Ethiopia's complex political landscape, where ethnic politics play a significant role. The situation has implications for national unity and the governance of Ethiopia, as it tests the country's ability to manage ethnic diversity and enforce peace. Conclusion. The Somali region's conflict with neighboring regions, particularly Afar and Oromia, showcases the challenges of ethnic federalism, resource control, and historical grievances. The violence has led to significant human suffering, with many still displaced and living in precarious conditions. Addressing these issues requires not only immediate ceasefire agreements, but also long-term strategies for reconciliation, equitable resource distribution, and governance reforms to mitigate ethnic tensions. This overview is based on a combination of web reports and social media insights up to December 2024. Causes of conflict. Territorial disputes. The primary trigger for many clashes has been disputes over territorial boundaries, especially after the 2014 federal government's decision to redraw boundaries, which was perceived by Somalis as an unjust transfer of their land to the Afar region. Resource scarcity. Both regions are rich in resources like water, pasture, and minerals. Competition for these scarce resources, exacerbated by climate change and population growth, is a significant driver of conflict. Ethnic identity and politics. Ethiopia's political structure, based on ethnic federalism, sometimes turns regional issues into ethnic ones, with each group seeking to protect or expand its territory and influence. Historical grievances. Long-standing historical tensions between different ethnic groups, including those from colonial times when borders were arbitrarily drawn, contribute to the current conflicts. Specific incidents and dynamics. Afar-Somali border violence. Notable incident in April 2021 saw over 100 deaths in areas like Haruk and Giwani, where heavy weaponry was used, highlighting the militarization of these disputes. Oromo-Somali conflict. This has been marked by massive displacements, with over 1.5 million people displaced in 2017 alone. The violence included attacks on civilians, with allegations of ethnic cleansing in some areas. Internal Somali region. Conflicts. There have also been internal conflicts within the Somali region, where different clans or political groups vie for power, leading to localized violence. Humanitarian impact. Displacement. The conflicts have caused significant internal displacement, with hundreds of thousands of people affected, living in camps or with host communities under dire conditions. Human rights violations. Reports detail not only deaths but also torture, rape, and other forms of violence against civilians, often with impunity for the perpetrators. Food insecurity. Conflict disrupts farming, herding, and access to markets, leading to increased food insecurity, compounded by the region's drought-prone nature. Government and military involvement. Liu Police. The Somali region's special force, known as Liu Police, has often been at the center of controversies, accused by various groups of initiating attacks or supporting one ethnic faction over another. Federal interventions. The Ethiopian federal government has deployed troops, attempted mediation, and imposed states of emergency to control outbreaks of violence, though with varying success. International and regional dynamics. Somalia-Ethiopia. Relations. The situation in the Somali region also influences Ethiopia's relations with neighboring Somalia, especially with issues like the Ethiopia-Somaliland Memorandum of Understanding, which Somalia sees as an infringement on its sovereignty. International aid and diplomacy. The international community has been involved through aid for displaced persons, calls for human rights investigations, and diplomatic efforts to encourage peace processes. Current developments and future outlook. Recent violence. As recent as December 2024, there have been reports of ongoing clashes in the Fafan zone, showing that despite peace agreements, the underlying issues persist. Peace initiatives. Traditional leaders and community dialogues have been initiated to try and resolve conflicts at a grassroots level, but the sustainability of these efforts remains uncertain. Political reforms. There's a need for broader political reform to address ethnic tensions, including power-sharing arrangements, fair resource distribution, and strengthening local governance to prevent ethnic politics from fueling violence. Long-term stability. For long-term stability, Ethiopia might need to reconsider its approach to ethnic federalism, ensuring it promotes unity rather than division. Conflict resolution will require addressing not just immediate security, but also social, economic, and political grievances. This expanded view reflects the complexity of the situation in Ethiopia's Somali region, where historical, political, and socio-economic factors intertwine to perpetuate cycles of violence.
This is the journey to One Africa.